Okay, this is the first town we've come to that has anything to do with the Whickers. It's in Devon, a town called Coombe Pen, and according to the Whicker family book by R.F. Whicker, there was a widow, Johanne Whicker, that married William Mace here in 1539. Here's the church at Coombe Pen, St. Mary's Parish Church of Coombe Pen with Rowston. We're going to look at some of the gravestones. Okay, here's the little town of Colliford, established around 1230, and we didn't find anything in the graveyard there at Coombe Pen. It's kind of a cloudy day, cold, not too much wind though, so we're thankful for that. But this is what the area around Colliford looks like. I have an appointment tomorrow to speak with a man who's in charge of the Genealogical Society here at Colliford, named Colin Patey, and he's going to help me find some of these other places that are mentioned in the records that we haven't been able to find. We're going to take a look now at the River Collie, which is where Colliford and Collyton get their names. And it's right, there's the Collie River Bridge, Colliford Bridge. James, don't touch me.
Why not?
Footpath to Collyton. Because I'm filming, honey. Down that way. And here's looking down the River Collie at Colliford Bridge. And here we are at the town of Collyton itself. Collyton was voted the best kept village of 1989. This is the port town of Topsham in Devonshire, where in September of 1685, Thomas Whicker left on board the ship owned by Lyle, Captain Lyle, and left for Virginia. September 1685.
Here's a part of it.
This town is very close to, right next door to Exeter. And this is looking down the street. Here's a view looking further out into the ocean from Topsham.
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Okay, this is the next morning, Saturday morning, the 26th of January, 1991. And it's about 9:15 in the morning. We're looking down the valley where the town of Faraway and North Lee are. It's kind of a hazy morning, so you can't see too well. But you can see it's a real pretty little valley. So we're going to drive on in a little closer and look at the town of Faraway, which has connections to the Whicker line. James, you're on tape. Here we are driving through the little town of Faraway. Oh, thank you.
Oh, right here. Look at the gym. It's a gym. Bob, this isn't far away yet. See, it says far away, 1 mile. Ouch.
Notice how narrow the roads are around here. The only difference between the way they are now and the way they were when the Whickers were here is probably that they're paved now. But I'm sure they weren't any narrower than this.
Stop. Far away.
Jamie, you're on tape. That last town we were in was called Faraway Church. This is actually Faraway.
And the Whickers are close by. We don't know where the Whicker house is. Make a weirdo. No, I'm not. It must have come.
Okay, this is the town of South Lee. And it's quite hilly country. There's the church. All the tombstones.
It says go.
Okay, now we just had to show you a three-wheeled vehicle. This is common in England. It's taxed as a motorcycle. Okay, James, get out. This is a little house near Blackacre. And we just thought all these little dwarves and stuff were pretty neat. Okay, now this is Blackacre Farm, which was part of the land given to the Whickers. Okay, here's Blackacre Farm. This house is probably how old?
From about 1900.
1900, okay.
It was rebuilt after a fire. Can you
Okay.
just stop for a second?
That's Pearlbridge down there.
Okay.
That's this area is Pearlbridge.
Alright.
All that used to belong to this farm.
Mhm.
This was the main farm.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what's happened? Well, we can show you and explain to you. We got all the documentation on it. But all that used to belong to this farm. But obviously, it's been sold off over the years, and
Yeah.
now the farm is where those buildings are down
Okay.
there.
And then down this way is
all this land, and then we've just got the field at the back here. But all of that, just the one field wide. Only this one field belongs with the farm.
now where
And all that round as far as that hedge there,
okay.
all that belongs. And the fields on this side of the river, and then on the other goes over along to the other side of the river down there.
Now
Yeah.
Knoll Farm is where?
Knoll Farm is over the hill there.
Is
just
over Knoll
you-
Hill.
Yeah, I mean it's quite close, but you can't see it because it's just over that little ridge there.
Okay.
But I can show you. I've got maps of it all inside. If
Okay.
you want to have a look.
Oh sure.
Well,
I'd love to. Thank you.
You have some copies of some better quality photographs, if you like.
Okay.
We've taken in the summer when it looks
Oh,
a bit better.
yeah, it's a little bit
Looks a
musty
bit
now.
better then. Yeah.
So that's Pearlbridge Mill.
Daddy, can I see a picture?
dating back to 1066 in the Doomsday Records.
And this is a tithe map, and I'll show you the tithe map if you like. I don't know if that'll come out all right, but
Yeah,
because that's the only copy I've got of that. But that I traced that off the tithe map in the record office in Exeter,
Oh, okay.
County Record Office.
Uh-huh.
And the tithe map is a map of all the fields in the parish, which were surveyed in order to get the tax, to work out the tax that each farmer had to pay to the church to help keep the church up in the parish. So they're called tithe maps, and this is one for Colleton Parish for 1843.
Uh-huh.
And on the side here I've listed all the fields that belong to Blackacre. The owner of Blackacre in 1843 was John Madge. Says he not only did he occupy it, he owned it as well, because some of them would be tenants, of course, you know, they'd be rented properties. The tax at that time was £2 6 shillings. You know, which would be what, a couple of dollars, I suppose, no, about $3 or $4 at that time. And the area of the holding was 18 acres, roughly, and 36 poles, whatever a pole was.
Yeah.
And it lists all the field numbers there.
Okay.
And I've marked some of the fields on there, and you can see that from that they were nearly all orchard, actually, because all this area at that time was would have been largely cider orchards, because, you know, as you know, cider, Devon is famous for its cider, which is, you know, an alcoholic drink based on apples. And a lot of this land round here would have been cider orchards, which of course are all gone now.
Well, the field listing there interests me, because in this book it lists a bunch of fields that I've not been able to find.
Well, we could probably trace them. I mean, they've got the name. Each field is named as well, you see. So you might be able to trace it back.
Because I noticed.
So you get a lot of, you know, you get a lot of lines on it. That's why it looks all blotchy.
Oh, I see.
You know, but you can, if you use a magnifying glass on it, it'll come up much clearer, and you can see Blackacre is marked on there. Now it doesn't sort of show it does show some of the fields, but because this was a hilly area, there's a lot of hatching, hence you lose the detail. Whereas if you go into the valley bottom, as you can see all the individual fields. But at least that would be a record for you of it in 1800.
Okay.
To go with the other one, which is about 1900.
Bone Bane. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll be able to pick out some of it, and that shows it as Puddle Bridge rather than Pearl Bridge.
Okay.
So that gives you the earlier. I mean, it depends whether they got their information that you've got in your book at their end.
Yeah.
In other words, over in the States from when they arrived, or whether they tracked it back to this end. But obviously there will be in the parish records, in the church, there will of course be the, you know, all the local families will obviously be listed in, as I say, because the church kept accurate records obviously of births, deaths and marriages.
Yes.
But also, of course, there would be all the court records. You know, of anybody who was fined for letting their field just up at the back here. You know, this is Knoll Hill. That's the actual hill. I mean, that's where the name comes from. You know what Knoll is, a hill.
Yeah.
You know,
when we get outside.
I mean, that's Knoll Hill. That hill there is Knoll Hill.
Okay.
And in that field, just there by the hill, there's a patch of what you'd call waste from smelting iron stone.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of ironstone in the ground here, and they reckon that goes back to probably to the Bronze Age, that they were smelting. You know, that they used to make little depressions in the ground, and they would collect up stone that had iron in it, and then heap wood on it, and then just burn it to get the, you know, very crude way of getting the iron out of the stone.
Oh, wow.
And then they would obviously they'd heat it up again until they could use it. You know, this was the early way of making implements and weapons. And so there's a site for that in that field. And as I say, we found at least one flint hand axe here on this site. I think I can probably show it to you right there.
Oh, is that right?
Shaped like that, which obviously were partially made, you see, and never finished. You can see where the point's been broken off, and it's never been finished off.
Huh.
And those are other ones that have been obviously partially made and never finished.
And from what age do you suppose these come?
Oh, well, they must be round about what? Certainly, probably pre-500 BC. There must be at least probably old, so they're about 3,000 years old at least. But that's the most complete one that we found here. And if you can hold that, and that's what they call a hand axe. You can see how you put your hand on that side, no, like that. Look, you feel so how it fits in the palm of your hand. See, and that's how they used to for chopping things up and so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's a round something in there too. Huh?
Oh yeah, those are what they call pot boilers. They used to put those in the pots to stop the when they heat them up, the old pots, to stop it cracking the pot. When they used to make their pots out of clay, of course.
From the same period? From
the same period, and they call those pot boilers. And there's another one actually, but it's more broken, that one.
Wow.
But they call those pot boilers. And they used to put them in when they were boiling stuff up in pots. They used to put one of those in, and apparently the story is that it stopped the pots from cracking. Don't ask me how, but I don't know. That's what they call them in this country anyway. Pot boilers.
And all that was found right on this farm.
All those bits, yes, found around here. I mean, there's lots of bits that I've never checked. I mean, there's bits of old pottery and stuff, but I mean, that's probably of no particular consequence. But all those bits were. I mean, that's the most complete one that we found. But you find lots of this sort that obviously they look as if somebody started to make them, you know, and probably never finished, because obviously obviously they make a lot of mistakes presumably when they were making these things, and some of them but you can see it's obviously been worked, you know, by the shape of it. And you know, when I'm digging around, I find lots of those around. So
say this is Knoll Hill.
This is Knoll Hill.
Right behind Blackacre Farm.
Right behind Blackacre Farm.
And on the left side of the hill is Knoll Farm, which we're going to go to now.
And on the left side of the hill, it's Knoll Hill, and that's where we're going to go to now.
Okay, now push the button to stop. That's right by your thumb. Okay, now we're looking at Knoll Farm at the base of Knoll Hill. And on the other side of this hill is where Blackacre Farm is, which we just came from. This is the road leading up to Knoll Farm. Oh, by the way, we just found out also from those people at Blackacre Farm that the mention in our book of Pucknig Gardens is probably Pucane Farm, which we showed previously on this video, that had all the dwarves. That's Pucane Farm now, but he thinks it was previously called Pucknig. Okay, this is Knoll Farm, and we're going to go in now and talk to a Mr. Denning, who lives here now. His understanding is that the Whickers were here at this farm for approximately 200 years. So let's go in now and talk to him. This is the farm as it looks today.
Grinding mill.
Oh.
There was obviously a stone that went around upright in there, and a man or a donkey run around the outside.
Oh yeah? What sort of age do you think that came from?
Oh, it could be thousands of years, they tell us.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that was found right around here?
It was just, you know, a neighbouring farm. Apparently somebody bought it at a sale, and on the way home it rolled in the ditch, and they left it there for donkey's years because the horse, it was in the horse days, they couldn't drag it out until they got sort of tractors that they could move it. It's one solid block of granite.
Wow.
I mean, that's just by the way, that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the original house started right here. And what does this, how far back does this house date?
Well, we've got deeds which are in the bank at the moment. You know, I copied them out once. They let me have them once. And well, it goes right back to I don't know if you've seen the parish register, have you, in Colton?
Yes, we looked at that yesterday.
Because I wondered, there was a couple of knolls in Colton, you see, and I wondered if they'd got them all mixed up. But on our deeds, it refers to Hercules Whicker and his son, way back, what, 1300?
Yeah, I thought it was 1460 something.
Is that right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
And you've got copies of those deeds too, huh?
Well, not photocopies.
I mean, but
yeah,
handwritten
Right.
extracts. Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. They
Wow,
were.
well, that would take us back further than my book takes us back then, because in the book we go back to 1520 with
Yeah.
Henry Whicker.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't come up against him.
Have you?
No, but I sort of gathered that you know, the family was here for a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's interesting because we had thought that this area was given to them about that time in the 1520s, but evidently it was here. They had it sooner than that, huh?
yeah.
Wow. Well, I'd be interested to see what you've extracted out of the deeds.
Well, look, I can put them on it.
I'll leave it there, okay.
We haven't tidied up. This is just as we've been living here.
Oh, okay. Wow. So,
And,
original beams in the ceiling.
oh yeah. And on the deeds, they list it as one bakehouse and one cider house.
Oh, for making cider?
Yeah, they don't list it as a dwelling house at all. They list it as a bakehouse and a cider house. So obviously one half was sort of a cellar and one half was a sort of a. I mean, we got an oven. A bread oven. I don't think this oven. This is obviously where they used to.
Oh. Huh.
You smoke?
No, I don't. Thank you.
It's full up of rubbish out back, because we don't.
You didn't
I
go
mean,
in there very
we
often.
we don't look in here very often.
Really make the bread.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Huh. So this was the
Let's
bakery part. Yeah.
He's new.
What? Yeah, an old pot there.
Yeah, that's the crock where they used to put the meat in.
Right.
You hang it on,
Yeah, this is
These.
closed. This is closed up. You see, I mean.
hang these down there with a pot on.
Oh, I see.
They put the meat in there.
Wow.
Then we just hang them up here.
Oh, that's really cool.
The fire was on the floor,
Oh, I see.
and the logs were the whole width of the fireplace.
Wow.
You know, I mean, you had to have that sort of heat to drive the smoke up the chimney. If you had a small fire like that, it smoked, see?
Oh, I see.
So you had to have a really big.
Wow.
But this fireplace was bricked in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bricked in. It didn't
When you
mean-
moved in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
when,
took the bricks out again because it
we
didn't work.
opened it up.
I
Tried all sorts of things to get
All
it
this
to
is
the...
solid lumps of beer stone.
see. From the quarry down at Beer, huh?
That's right, yeah.
With
Makes
the
not a
horse on.
lot with a horse on.
Well, I think it's
Um,
quite...
Yeah.
But it's green sand, acid soil, and you know, nothing lasts long, and you know, not we dig up glass and pottery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, where's those books to then?
I've taken summer visitors, so...
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Bed and breakfast.
That's right, yeah. Main bedroom.
Oh, look at that nice canopy bed, girls. My girls have always said they wanted a canopy bed.
What do they call it? A canopy bed?
Canopy bed.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
yeah.
What do you call it?
Oh, it's a four-poster.
Four-poster.
Yeah.
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 Oh, this is nice.
It's,
Huh.
You look down the valley towards Culloch.
Yeah.
Very nice view. Go over and have a look.
you know, it's a lot better in the summer than
Yeah.
you can choose a very good day for views.
Yeah, well, that's all right. They lived here in the winter too, though.
Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah, the view out of the top bedroom window towards Colleyton.
Yeah, see out the window, Mom. Open the window.
Oh, it's not down.
In the
There we
summer,
go.
it's really nice there. You know, you get
Yeah, that is beautiful.
the sun come up.
The bedroom window of the Knoll farmhouse. Okay. One last shot of this. Oh, I better take that off, huh? And open this up. This is what the upstairs hallway looks like.
There's no actual dates until just recently, but I've got a Francis Whicker and a Hercules Whicker and a William Whicker, who sold it to an Anne Bowditch, widow of Northley, who left it to her son Clement Bowditch, who sold it to somebody or another, who sold it to somebody or another, who sold it to somebody. But obviously these Whickers farm. The deeds of the farm, well, the deeds are, you know, I mean, when we bought the property, we had a copy of the original deeds. I mean, all you get now is a land registry certificate. You don't even get a deed now, but this is properly written deeds.
Oh,
On parchment.
I see.
But the bank got their hands on them. they won't let me have it out now.
Okay, but it was for this place, not the knoll that's further down.
No, it's for this place because when we came here, this was part of an estate, you know, a large estate.
Right.
And we were only here a year, and the owner died. And you know, being a tenant, we had the first opportunity to buy it.
Oh.
So we couldn't do much else than buy it really, because we could buy it cheaper than we could rent it. It's one of those sort of stupid arrangements in those days. You know, interest was 2%, sort of.
Wow.
So that's how we came here, really. I mean, it was only by misfortune, fortune, whichever you call it.
Sounds like fortune to me.
Well, when Father took it on, I'd be interested in those field names. We've got a map with field names on. You see it? And,
oh yeah, I wanted to look at that if you thought you could find it.
Was obviously the farm that replaced, that Scroll Barton replaced. Scroll Barton was just a couple of farm cottages that was blown up into a farm in Victorian times as a Barton, you know, sort of to give Southley a bit more uprating. But it was just a couple of cottages, and Fieldswood was the main farm, and it probably some of this farm was Fieldswood.
Okay. And what's the name of it now?
It's disappeared now.
Oh,
It's just been let down.
Oh.
Just run down like.
Okay.
And the land have obviously been divided between us and Scroll Barton.
Scroll Barton is another farm next to you.
Well, this is a farm. I say it was developed in Victorian times.
But it's still on the map, Scroll Barton?
Oh yeah, it's very much a farm. But
Okay.
I mean, as far as like the Anglo-Saxon version of Barton was concerned, it never was a Barton. And if you look up scroll in the old Saxon dictionary, it just means hole dug by a pig.
Oh.
So it's not that grand.
Okay. Well, what about Knoll Mead there? Is that
Yeah, that one's out here. And Knoll Hill.
Yeah.
Strews Hay. I don't know that one.
West Neil. Now we found Puddle Bridge. That's
yeah,
Pearl Bridge.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the mill down there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I think I found the rest of those. Gitsane,
Yeah.
Campaign,
Yeah.
and Exxon Ford we can't find either.
Oh, that would be, that sounds like that's further away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Okay.
But, West, no, it's called Street Hayne, but we always thought that referred to the old name for road.
No, I did look up Street Hain, and street doesn't refer to a road. I looked up the name of it, and I can't remember what it refers to, but it isn't a road, and I'll bet you
No.
that is it, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet you that's what it is.
I'll bet you that's Street Hain.
Yeah.
And that's where?
Straight across the valley. Straight across the valley.
Okay, that's Street Hain, and we
Yeah.
think that's probably Strews Hain. Okay.
The field between us and Blackacre is definitely black soil. We'll send you on with a bit in a minute. You can take it on. And we've had one or two people to pass their opinion, and they think it's old Iron Age iron smelting.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did tell me that.
Yeah.
I didn't connect it with the name.
Yeah, well,
Black
we think
Acre.
that's where the Blackacre came from.
Oh, okay.
Ourselves, because his place was a farm as well. So he may very well have owned that field of ours sometime or another.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And then tell me again what about Pucain?
Pucain.
Yeah.
Well, Pucain comes. The old word "puk" means goblin.
Okay.
Like as in Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
this chap, like I say, he fell off his tractor and banged his head very hard a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then he got this notion of collecting hundreds of gnomes.
And those are the ones we already took a picture of.
Yeah.
We just took a picture of them because we thought they looked neat. We didn't
I
know
mean-
there was any significance
I
to
mean,
them.
he's even developed into a giant gnome, hasn't he, Christine?
Well, not too bad.
well, he has. Apart from wearing a pointed hat, he definitely looks like he's got a beard and.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that an aerial photo of this farm?
Yes. As it is now.
Oh, let's see if I can get a picture of that. Can we turn this light on for a
Yeah.
second? Get a better picture of this?
There is a light in the other room. I don't know is that enough or not?
Well, it helps, yeah. Okay, that's the aerial photo of Knoll Farm. Okay, very good.
You can take on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, what? Oh,
You can take on that. I mean,
wow, that's heavy.
I reckon that's where the name Blackacre originated, because we got a field full of it.
Wow.
And if it was silver or gold ore, we'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Well, it almost looks lava-like, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's obviously some sort of. I mean, we've been told it was meteorite, and it was. But it seems to come back to Iron Age smelting.
And you find this all over, huh?
That field between us and Mr. Westlake
Yeah.
it's all over that one,
All right.
and we reckon that's where the name Blackacre comes from.
Okay.
But he likes to think it's the black earth down his place. But I'm sure it's that stuff
Mhm.
in the field between us and him, because that field might very well have belonged to him.
Hmm. Yeah.
At one
well,
time.
yeah.
You can take it on.
Oh, I can have that?
Yeah, take it on for what it's worth. You
Oh.
might be able to find out more about it than I can.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, we got heaps of it here. I mean, it sort of never fails to fascinate me, because when you go in along and a piece comes up, it always looks so like you found something, but you know it's only a piece of the same old stuff.
Okay, James, did you get that? You guys probably think we're really strange, don't you?
No, I mean, we have people here all
We
the
have,
summer.
the other family that used to live here, they keep coming back.
Do they?
People that were here before us.
Well, I'm sure that.
Keep coming back.
Yeah.
To work,
Yeah.
but we just love living here.
Yeah.
And everybody says the same.
Yeah.
It's poverty that drives you out, not not a request, quest for a better farm.
Yeah. Very good. So how?
If you're ever in the country again, do come and see us.
Well, we'll do that.
In the summer, it is really something here.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, even in the dead of winter here, it's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't imagine. green like that is just not, you don't find that in the States in the wintertime, green.
No?
No,
No.
no, it's all brown.
In the middle of that wood down there.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, it is a lovely place. But like I say, as far as earning a living, it's hard work.
Yeah.
There you are, you strike a balance somewhere, don't you?
And I guess cows don't care if it's winter or summer, they gotta be fed, huh?
Oh
Do you do any dairy?
yeah.
Yeah. Almost get a picture from this angle.
I'm subject to it. Went to Australia.
Yeah.
Things got tough for them in the 1850s,
Yeah.
and they went there. So we get
Alrighty.
same connection.
I
I don't think
see.
we were any.
There's the Knoll farm again. And he's a millionaire, boy, you gotta see if you can tie up with him somehow, man.
The latch on somewhere, didn't it?
Okay, here's Pearl, what used to be called Puddle Bridge. It's now called Pearl Bridge. And this part used to be a mill. I think by that they mean a woolen mill. This house here used to be thatched also, but now it's got a tin roof. Pearl Bridge cross right there. Now looking back up that way, and here's the bridge itself. Okay, here's Street Hayne House, which we think is what's being referred to as Strews Hayes, or Strews Hay. Still a thatched cottage, and very beautiful buildings. And looking straight across from Street Hayne House is the Knoll Hill and Knoll Farm. Where the Whickers lived. Okay, and here is Git Chain, which was also one of the Whicker lands. Yeah, I know what you mean. And that brings us right back to Collyton. Git Chain is less than a quarter of a mile from this point behind us, and we've come all the way around back to the town of Collyton now. Hope you've enjoyed our tour, and we've sure enjoyed it, finding out all this about the Whicker family. And here's the River Collie. This is downtown Collyton in 1991.